Barbie Starlight Adventure is an animated feature film from 2016. This is directed by Andrew Tan, Michael Goguen, and Collette Sunderman, and it's written by Kacey, Arnold, and Kate Boutilier. And we have a voice cast including Erica Lindbeck as Barbie. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with this at all, but I did not care for it. It's not the kind of story I look for when it comes to Barbie films. I just didn't find it to be very appealing. But I will say, and I'll talk about the narrative, of course, it is well written. The pacing is very good. There are a lot of different characters, and in general, it is not a bad film. Barbie is actually Princess Starlight, and she has to travel to this other planet because the stars are dying, and she has to try and prevent the stars from going out. And there's a bit more to the narrative, but that's the very basic premise. And it's not my kind of story. Barbie or otherwise, it's not my kind of narrative. So it was never going to be a favourite. But I wasn't bored. I didn't dislike it. I just wasn't necessarily enthusiastic about it. It wasn't as warm and fuzzy and cozy as a lot of Barbie films are either. And I guess in part that could also be because it doesn't feel as nostalgic. Even some of the other more contemporary Barbie films do feel quite nostalgic, even if they're only released in recent years, because we're dealing with, well, first of all, a character who's actually called Barbie, which obviously is a bit more nostalgic. So, in general, the narrative flows well. I think the pacing is very good. It's very, very creative, absolutely very creative. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with the narrative. It's just simply not my favourite. Visually, it is very appealing. Again, I prefer the animation of many others, but this one, it looks great. There's a gorgeous colour palette. There's a really beautiful colour palette for this. As one can imagine, we have a lot of pinks and purples and very, very creative designs for the costumes. The costumes look really great. Barbie as a character, or Princess Starlight, very likeable, easy to follow her journey. I wasn't necessarily emotionally invested in it, but it was still a pleasant enough experience. And of course, we have good voice acting as well. So it ticks every box, nothing wrong with it. Barbie Starlight Adventure is a solid narrative, a well executed story, visually quite satisfying, but compared with many other Barbie films, it just wasn't quite the experience that I enjoy when it comes to Barbie. Do I recommend it? Yes, of course. If you're a Barbie fan, or if you're just looking for a sweet animation, or indeed if you think the narrative sounds interesting to you, then yes, I'd say it's worth watching. If, like me, though, you do prefer the other Barbie films where they're maybe not as sci-fi based, or not as, I almost want to say not as creative. We're not looking at fantasy worlds or sci-fi. They're more stripping things back to basic. They're just human characters in our regular world, which sounds boring when I say it like that, but those are my favourites. But if you like these ones where they're a little bit more creative and a little bit more fantasy or sci-fi based, then yeah, give it a go. Barbie Starlight Adventure, all things considered, is not a bad film at all.